If I could only keep one fragrance per month, these are going to be the 12 I'm holding on to. If you're interested in finding out, stay tuned. Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Trevor. Very grateful to have you here. And today's video is a tag video. So I was tagged by my brother Ace Vendetta Smell Better Fragrances to pick one fragrance per season. I've compiled these 12 fragrances based upon a combination of versatility, mass appeal, and personal enjoyment. So these are going to be the 12 that I settled on based upon those criteria, and I think they're great picks for the months that I've ascribed to them. So I'm going to get started right away with the list, starting off with January. January being one of the darkest, coldest, driest months, at least where I'm at. This is one that I often reach for during that time of the year. This is Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. So I do work outside. I'm a delivery driver for a restaurant, so I'm in the elements very often. And this one does an exceptionally well job of cutting through the cold while also maintaining a very masculine frame. So it's definitely something that you're going to get complimented on. It carries a very nice black leather jacket vibe to it, so it works perfectly for that attire if you are out in the elements, as I oftentimes am. And there's a really nice sweet patchouli base here that offers up something very mass appealing and easy to get your nose on, despite the somewhat complex leather here that really articulates an image of plush black car leather. So very premium feel, very expensive, luxurious, and versatile, mass appealing. Tom Ford's Ombre Leather, can't go wrong, and this is going to be my pick for January. February, definitely a time where I'm in the spirit of love per se, and so something a little bit soft, a little bit maybe dark and sensual, a little bit sweet. Had to go with this one. This is Dior Homme Parfum. At a bit of a loss for words even to describe this fragrance. Definitely the most blown away I ever was by smelling a fragrance. I got my nose on this fairly early in my fragrance journey, and still to this day it's astounding how beautiful this is. Perhaps the best iris fragrance I've ever gotten my nose on, and these are available, at least they have been recently, on Fragrance Buy for sub $200, and I think that's an excellent price. Definitely recommend getting your nose on this one, and this is going to be my pick for the month of February, Dior Homme Parfum. Okay, so in March we're getting a little bit warmer, but the trees are still pretty barren. There's maybe some buds appearing, but it's still cold. There's some snow on the ground, but there's a nice, brisk, invigorating freshness in the air as the weather is beginning to break, and this is an all-time classic that I think every man should at least try, but I think should own in their collection, because even if you don't like it now, I think everyone can really mature into this fragrance as their nose develops. It's none other than Green Irish Tweed from Creed. And I've smelled Cool Water. I don't think they're similar enough for that to be a replacement of this. This is just such a stunning masterpiece of a fragrance, and this is the newer formulations. I can't imagine how great the older ones were in the 120 ml bottles, but this has got a beautiful, lush, dewy green field of grass with a nice powdery touch from an iris and a little bit of a minty appeal from a lemon verbena in the top. So you just get this very fresh, brisk, invigorating, minty quality air of clarity and grassy greenness amidst a little bit of a powdery textural feel that carries an incredible amount of class and elegance. Absolutely stunning juice, and without a doubt my pick for March, as it definitely harmonizes with the St. Paddy's Day vibe of an Irish landscape. Green Irish Tweed from Creed is my pick for the month of March. So April, things are pretty on the fence. Some days are going to be warmer than others, as it's really a checkered time of the year. The weather's a little bit all over the place, but it is getting deeper and deeper into spring, so I wanted something with a little bit of a floral touch to it, while also being able to weather that April showers cold quality in the air. So this is the one that I'm picking for April. This is Dior Homme Original. The fragrance that really kicked off the iris craze for men. This one has a little bit of a soapy touch to it, beautiful florals, that slight chocolatey cacao powder. Elegant, classy, sophisticated, and a perfect match for the month of April, as I find this to be such a balanced fragrance. It's just got the right amount of freshness, soapiness, cleanness, and sweetness all combined together in, I think, a masterpiece. Definitely the Dior Homme line is my favorite line in fragrance, at least currently, so you're going to see a few more Dior Hommes in this list coming up, but my pick for the month of April is Dior Homme Original. Okay, so we've made it to May. So April showers bring May flowers, so I had to go with something with a heavy floral component for this time of the year. At least for me, this is what works, and this is definitely one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection, definitely in my top 5. I think it leans a little bit feminine, but the remarkable part about this fragrance is that it is a unisex fougere. Now, fougères mean fern, and so it's a scent profile that attempts to capture a very green-like essence, which generally is ascribed to men, but this one does it in such a beautiful floral composition with a heavy dose of tuberose, while the lavender fougere aspect emerges a little bit more as you wear it. But this stuff is absolutely stunning, well worth the price despite the rather high price tag. This is Fougere Emeraude from Les Indemodables. So Les Indemodables is a house which means the timeless ones, and I think they do a rather good job of creating timeless fragrances. This one is, like I said, absolutely stunning in my top 5. It's got a little bit of a minty quality to it, not quite mentholic, but like maybe like an Andes mint style powdery mintiness over the top of it, perhaps coming in from the heavy dose of tuberose. But this is just a really big compliment getter, head turner, and dumbfounded look getter. This is just something when I've been wearing it out at the restaurant delivering, the customers kind of get jaw dropped when they answer the door, and a lot of the servers have also complimented that I smell really good when wearing this one. So I really recommend sampling it, since it is a high price tag, to get access to this brand, and they only have 50 ml bottles for around the price that you're going to be paying for 100 mLs of Creed. But really love this stuff, and without question my top pick for the month of May. So June is a time that the grass is really starting to green, the buds on the trees are starting to burst open, the greenery is really emerging out onto the landscape. I'm mowing the lawn pretty regularly at this point in the year, I want to say, and this is really white tea season for me, the time of the year where I'm just really relaxing, taking it easy, maybe dressing a little bit less modestly, really relaxing and lounging, and this fragrance really takes that relaxed feel and brings it up to the next level and just makes me feel so at home, so at ease, so cozy, yet so refreshed. And it has a little bit of a tropical island vibe to it, so it kind of puts me in the mood of sipping pina coladas, even though I don't drink, on the beach. And this is going to be Byredo's Bal de Freak. And one of the most remarkable things about this fragrance that stands out to me is it's got this stunning composition of citruses that are so, I like to call it atomic citrus, because it feels like the citric quality, the way that it's wafting across your nose, has been ground down into something so tiny and atomic, just very particular, but refreshing and zinging and fuzzy, and just very well constructed. There is that little bit of a tropical feel. There's an African flower in here that kind of gives it something exotic, but the rest of the fragrance, beyond the atomic citrus and the tropical flower, is a very nice, clean linen, fresh out of the laundry style, ease of wear, white t-shirt appropriate fragrance. And this is just something that I love to relax with, even though it's a freshie. So this is definitely one to get your nose on, and again, pretty expensive, but I think something to try out. I think it might be a little bit overpriced, to be honest, for what it is. I think I would have been more happy paying maybe $150 for this 100 ml than close to $200, but it is one of my favorites in the collection and something that I absolutely adore rocking with a white tea. So that's Byredo's Bal de Freak for June. Alright, and for July, this is going to be the time where I'm spending the most near bodies of water, whether by a swimming pool or taking a trip to the beach, and generally I like to reach for something a little bit more aquatic during the month of July. So July is definitely an aquatic month for me. Even though the fragrance I picked here isn't aquatic, it has a little bit of a similarity to Versace's Pour Homme, I want to say, but it is just absolutely refreshing, stunning, slick, sleek, and invigorating. It's going to be none other than Creed Aventus Cologne. So like I said, it's got a little bit of a mashup between the original Aventus DNA with Versace Pour Homme. It doesn't have any aquatic notes listed, but the way that the citruses come together in here, it definitely has a bit of a watery touch on top of that Aventus DNA. Easy compliment getter, easy to wear, stunning juice, definitely worth getting your nose on or sampling. I believe that the 50 mLs of this are fairly affordable, right around the 150 mark. It's kind of what you pay for a designer anymore these days, so I really recommend getting your nose on this one. It is really just one of the most perfect wares that you could pick for the summertime in general, but for July, this is really my companion during that time of the year and whenever I'm near bodies of water. So Creed Aventus Cologne is my pick for the month of July. Okay, so August. While July I generally incline towards more citrus aquatic fragrances, August is a time where I really reach for my woody citrus fragrances, and this is going to be the only clone in the list and a Middle Eastern, but I have yet to try the original, which probably could have made the list. However, I have tried two other clones of this fragrance, one of them being from a niche house and the other being from Alexandria Fragrances, and I prefer this to both of those. The fragrance is none other than Junoon Oud, and it is cloning Bulgari's Tigar. Now, while I have not gotten my nose on Tigar, I have smelled Sospiro's Vibrato as well as Alexandria's Black Panther, and I prefer this to both of those. The reason being, this one features rosewood and patchouli, and I feel like it gives it a little bit more depth and a little bit more of a masculine edge than the other two fragrances. And while I haven't smelled Tigar, I know that Sospiro Vibrato is another niche brand, and I felt that both Black Panther and Vibrato had a little bit of this sour twang, the way that the grapefruit was coming off, at least my skin with those. However, this one, just with that rosewood and patchouli, emanates a much more classy and refined style take on that citrus musky vibe, grapefruit that the Tigar DNA offers up. So this is going to be my top pick for the month of August, and perhaps the most complimented fragrance in this entire list of 12. So highly recommend this one. You can get it for right around the $50 mark on Joma Shop. So for August, this is going to be Junoon Oud, Al Haramain. Alright, we've entered into September. This is the beginning of the fall, but it's still pretty hot out. I was still experiencing temperatures near the 80 and 90 degree mark throughout half of September, I want to say. So while it is starting to get brisk in the air, the mornings are getting a little bit more cool, I still need something that's got a little bit of lightness and citric emphasis. So this is going to be my top pick for the month of September. This is Dior Homme 2020. So this reminds me a little bit of Terre d'Hermès if you really took out that earthy quality that is challenging for new noses, which is why I prefer wearing this to Terre d'Hermès. Now, in terms of scent profile, I like Terre d'Hermès more, but this one is easier on the people around you and is equally as high quality of a offering, in my opinion. They both share that sort of powdery, iso-y, super cedary, woody quality with a citric tone. And the citruses in here are very beautiful, very invigorating, very bright, and then the woody quality in here is very easy to wear. And this is definitely, if Junoon Oud was not my most complimented fragrance in this list of 12, Dior Homme 2020 is. And I absolutely love this fragrance. It's so easy to wear, just the most dumb reach fragrance perhaps in my entire collection. And my top pick for the month of September, straddling those cool mornings and those 90-degree afternoons. I think this is a perfect pick for that time of the year, or any time of the year, really. I think this is a Swiss Army knife fragrance if there ever was one. So that's Dior Homme 2020 for September. So October is the month where I really had the most difficult time narrowing down a fragrance. A lot of my favorites for that time of the year just aren't really that versatile. They harmonize well with the month of October. However, I feel none of them are really that versatile and easy to wear in everyday situations. However, this one is the one that I landed on. It's got a nice citric opening, which makes it versatile, fresh, and something that can be worn in many situations. But it's got a deep, rich, resinous wood quality that makes it very compelling during the colder time of the year. So my top pick for the month of October is Eau Sauvage Parfum, the 2017 version from Dior. And yeah, like I said, just very rich, resinous, woody notes, a little bit of a black licorice vibe, the way that an elemi resin offers a unique sweetness to this fragrance, and a stunning citron note opening up the top that makes it really easy to wear, refreshing, and versatile in my opinion. This is a little bit more dressed up and classy of a fragrance. A lot of the other ones for everyday wear at least, and this is a little bit difficult to pull off. It is kind of mature, a little bit more barbershop feeling, but one that I really have no difficulty pulling off day in and day out. I think at least my skin and my composure really harmonize well with this Eau Sauvage DNA, and the 2012 version is one of my favorites for the winter time as well. But for the month of October, I'm rocking Eau Sauvage Parfum 2017. Alright, only 2 months left, and the one that I'm picking for the month of November, which is the month that we are in now, perhaps will be my scent of the day today. We will see, but this is going to be another one from the House of Creed. This is Creed's Royal Oud. So this offers up a beautiful sparkly citrus opening, a mystifying green mountainous mid, and a stunning soft, sweet, and powdery sandalwood cedar dry down. Don't really pick up much oud in this fragrance, so don't be alarmed by the name, but you should be alarmed by the price. This is perhaps one of the more expensive Creeds, right behind the new Absolute Aventus, but well worth the... I don't want to say well worth it because it is very expensive, so I would say well worth sampling. Definitely one worth sampling, and I did see Venba Fragrance have this for sub 200 or sub 300 recently, so if you are interested in this fragrance, perhaps go check them out. But yeah, like I said, beautiful opening mid and dry down, the best transition through those 3 layers out of any fragrance in my collection. One of the best wearing experiences, and a stunning matchup with the month of November. Just the way that everything about this fragrance comes together evokes that imagery of those beautiful golden hues in the peak middle of autumn season, capturing the nature so wonderfully. This is Creed's Royal Oud, my pick for the month of November. And finally, December. As the light is starting to die out, things are getting a lot colder, not quite as cold as January, but definitely dark and cold, a little bit more wet as well. Snow's starting to pick up, and this is a fragrance that I think is perfect for this time of the year. It's got a rich class and maturity with an emphasis on lavender, but also a nice darkness with some spice and licorice. And this is easily one of the most versatile cold weather fragrances, a little bit more mature again, but it is also very mass appealing and compliment pulling, and I think a perfect fragrance for the month of December. This is going to be Dior Sauvage Elixir. Have spoken about this one quite a bit. It is a favorite on the channel. I highly recommend getting your nose on this one. I do prefer this significantly over Lattafa's Assad, which I feel dries down into a bit of like a Cocoa Puff sweetness, the way that the patchouli is done in that fragrance, while this one keeps a lot more of an invigorating freshness. The quality of the lavender in here is exceptionally higher than Lattafa's Assad. However, price to value ratio, I think the clones are going to be a good bargain, but this is well worth dishing out your cash for, in my opinion. Stunning composition, perfect gentlemanly fragrance, and a compliment getter, and versatile as well. I think I could pull this off in climate controlled environments in the summertime, despite it being rather rich, dark, and dense. But this is going to be my top pick for the month of December, Dior Sauvage Elixir. And I really appreciate you sticking with me to the end of the video. I'm, again, leaving this as an open tag, and if you are not a content creator, I would love to know what your 12 picks for each month are in the comment section down below. And as always, I really appreciate you sticking with me to the end. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.